Hi everyone, welcome back to the SAM Biology classes online. I am Salim. Today we are going to study another important phylum of non-chordates, that is Platyhelminthes. So we are going to study, in this video we are going to study the general characters of Platyhelminthes. Let us study these characters in detail one by one. See, this video, the intention of making this video is mainly to give you a complete or most of the explanation regarding the general characters of Platyhelminthes. So this video is very informative. Please watch the video till the end. First, looking at the habitat, you know that habitat means the place where the organisms are living. So ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಜೀವಸ್ಥಳ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. So Platyhelminthes, they live in marine water as well as fresh water, and some are terrestrial. So marine means they live in ocean, ಸಮುದ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತವೆ. Fresh water means like river, lake, pond, pools, etc. Terrestrial means on the land. Some of them are free living and most of them are parasitic. So most of the animals belonging to the phylum Platyhelminthes are parasitic. So this is about habitat. Then body organization. So these Platyhelminthes are bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic, dorso-ventrally flattened, and acoelomates with organ level of organization. See, bilaterally symmetry means you know that the body of animal is divided into two equal halves in only one plane, and they are first triploblastic and bilaterally symmetrical animals. Okay, earlier we know that phylum Coelenterata, so they are radially symmetrical, but the Platyhelminthes are bilaterally symmetrical and they are triploblastic. It means the body wall of these animals is made up of three layers: outer ectoderm, middle mesoderm, and inner endoderm. And they are dorso-ventrally flat. It means imagine it is a dorsal surface, and if you imagine it is a ventral surface, they are flat on both the dorsal side as well as the ventral side. So ಚಪ್ಪಟೆ ಆಗಿರ್ತವೆ both ಮುಂಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಹಿಂಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ, that is dorso ventrally flattened. Then they are acoelomates. Acoelomates means the body cavity is absent, or you can say the body cavity is not lined by the mesoderm. Such animals are called acoelomates, and they are having organ level of organization. It means organs are present. So you know that organs means it is a group of cells performing the same function. So these are the first animals, or the only animals in the non-chordates that are having organ level of organization. Very important point you have to remember. And these are the first triploblastic animals, and they are acoelomate animals. These 3 points are very, very important. Then coming to the body shape, so here you can notice there are different types of shapes are there. Most of them are worm like animals, and some are elongated and flat. So they are elongated as well as flat. Take example of planaria. And some are very long and ribbon like. The best example for this is a tapeworm or Taenia solium. It is best example for very long and it has a ribbon like body. So body ಬಹಳ ಉದ್ದಕ್ಕಿರುತ್ತೆ and ribbon ತರ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. And here long and flat, best example planaria. And leaf like, some are leaf like. Take example of liver fluke, Fasciola hepatica, scientific name. So the body is leaf like. So there are different types of shapes are there, and most of them are worm like. So these are why they are called Platyhelminthes. See, remember platy means flat, helminthes means worm like. So the body of these animals is dorso-ventrally flattened. So it is flat on both dorsal side and ventral side. Hence these are commonly called flat worms. Then fourth point, body size. See, some animals are microscopic and some are extremely long. Say, as I told you, the tapeworm, it is almost 2 meter long, 2 to 3 meter long, and therefore the size is small to. So they are extremely long. Take example of a tapeworm. So, and some are microscopic even. So you cannot see with the naked eye. So just my point is here, I can say that the body size is small to moderate, and even some are extremely long. So take example of tapeworm, it can grow up to 2 to 3 meters. So much of long body size is present. Then body color. Most of them are colorless or white. I can say that and some are colored, like they have black, brown, gray, etc. Now you can ask me why these are colored. So from where the color comes? So ಬಣ್ಣ ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, so these animals, when they ingest the food, when they take the food inside the body, it impart a color. So that's why these animals are colored. Okay, some are, and most of them are colorless. Take example of tapeworm, it is again colorless. But if you take some animals like liver fluke, they are colored. Okay, majority of them are colorless, you remember, and some are colored. They will have black, brown, gray color, etc. Cephalization, it is a very important point. Cephalo means head. Always remember, cephalo means head. Zation means process. So here you remember the anterior end of the body, it forms a head. Okay, so therefore for the first time it was observed in the phylum Platyhelminthes. So this point is very important. Cephalization, it was seen for the first time in the Platyhelminthes. Then organs of adhesion. Adhesion means attachment. See, we know that in the endoparasites, hooks and suckers are present. Hooks, H-O-O-K-S. Sorry, spelling S it is. Okay, hooks and suckers are present. These are organs of attachment. So they helpful for the attachment with the intestine of the man. So usually most of the parasites, they are endoparasites, and these endoparasites have the hooks and suckers. They are helpful for the attachment with the internal organs. ಆಂತರಿಕ ಅಂಗಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿಡಿದುಕೊಳ್ಳಲು ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ hooks and suckers. Then exoskeleton and endoskeleton are entirely absent in these animals, and these are a soft bodied animals, or you can say the body is very soft. And coming to the different types of internal systems, first one, if you look at the digestive system, see, digestive system is entirely absent. See, especially in the endoparasites, the digestive system is absent, and if the digestive system is present, it is incomplete. So what is the meaning of incomplete digestive system? The digestive system which has only one opening. So what is incomplete digestive system? Means the digestive system which has only one opening. So here anus is absent. So no anus. It means anus is absent. Only mouth is present. So particularly the head consists of mouth. Through that mouth only the food. So actually it is not the mouth. Sorry. So it is the anus is absent and only mouth is present. Single opening is present. That is called incomplete digestive system. Then respiratory system and circulatory systems are also absent. Now the question arises, how the body absorbs the food when the digestive system is absent? So the absorption of food and exchange of gases takes place through the body wall. Especially in the endoparasites, so they don't have the digestive system, respiratory system and circulatory system. Their body wall itself helps in absorption of food from the host, and as well as it also act as a respiratory structure. It helps in gas exchange. Then excretory system. So protonephridia, these are the specialized excretory organs of Platyhelminthes, and these protonephridia, they contain the flame cells. Very important point. So what are flame cells? So flame cells are the excretory cells of Platyhelminthes, and they also perform one more function, osmoregulation. You know that excretion means removal of nitrogenous waste, and osmoregulation means control or maintenance. Osmo means water. So it is the process of balancing of water or maintenance of water inside the body. So flame cell performs two functions. One is excretion, and in some animals it performs excretion as well as osmoregulation. Osmoregulation means, as I told you, the balancing of water inside the body. Okay, I hope you understood. Next, nervous system. The nervous system of Platyhelminthes, it is very primitive type, and it consists of a pair of cerebral ganglia. It is also called anterior ganglia. It is similar to the brain, but actually brain is not. It is not the brain. It is you can imagine it is just similar to the brain. So ಮೆದುಳು ಇದ್ದಂಗ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, same work. As in our body the brain perform the function, same it way the cerebral ganglia perform the function. See, what is the meaning of ganglia? Ganglia means group of nerves. group of nerves is called ganglia. So they have cerebral ganglia as well as nerve cord. So nerve cord is also present. Then coming to the sense organs, see sense organs are entirely absent in trematoda and cystoda, and they are present in turbularians. See dear students, I want to tell you that the phylum Platyhelminthes, it consists of three classes: Turbularia, Trematoda, Cystoda. Turbularia example Planaria. Trematoda example liver fluke, and cystoda you can take example like a tapeworm. In the next video I will tell you in detail. Just to remember, these are the three important classes of Platyhelminthes: Turbularia, Trematoda, Cystoda. And the turbularians means the animals belonging to the class Turbularia. They have the sense organs. So these are usually terrestrial animals, hence the sense organs are well developed and they are present. But in case of trematoda like liver fluke and cystoda, as I told you, tapeworm, so these are, as we know, they are endoparasite, therefore they don't require any sense organs, hence the sense organs are entirely absent. Then coming to the next point, that is they are hermaphrodite. Okay, hermaphrodite means so both male and female sex organs are present in the same animal. Most of the animals are hermaphrodite. It means sexes are not separate, with few exceptions. So except some animals, most of them are hermaphrodite. Then coming to the reproductive system. So reproductive system, it is highly complex, or you can say it is highly evolved. And they reproduce both asexual as well as a sexual method. See, coming to the asexual reproduction only it is observed in the animals belonging to the class Turbularia. They reproduce by transverse fission. So transverse fission, it is a most common type of asexual reproduction in the animals belonging to the class Turbularia. Then coming to the fertilization, you know that fertilization nothing but the fusion of gametes to produce a zygote, and usually the fertilization is internal. So what is internal fertilization? When the fertilization takes place inside the body is called internal fertilization. In some animals like cystodes, self-fertilization occur. And in some animals like trematodes, cross-fertilization is also observed. So you have to mention all these points. So usually fertilization is internal and self-fertilization occur in cystodes, and cross-fertilization is observed in trematodes. So cystodes, as I told you, example tapeworm. Trematode example you can remember liver fluke. Then coming to the life cycle, see life cycle is highly complicated because it involves one or more host. So some animals have one host, some are having more than one host. For example, tapeworm, you know that tapeworm has two hosts. One is man, another one is pig. So therefore, since these are endoparasites, their life cycle is highly complex or complicated. It involves one or more host. And very important point, that is regeneration. It was seen in planaria. You know that when a small part of the body is cut, it once again grow. So you can say the lost part, L-O-S-T, the lost part of the body, it once again grows and it develops into a complete structure. That special phenomenon is called regeneration, and we know that regeneration, it is a type of asexual reproduction. And in Platyhelminthes, the animal Planaria, it has the power of regeneration. It has a high power of regeneration. If you cut any part of the body, it will grow once again. For example, if you take my finger, if you cut here, so it will never grow. So this part of this part is lost because our finger do not have the capacity of regeneration. But if you cut the body of Planaria, it once again grow. It grows because of the regeneration. So I hope you understood this. See, you have to remember. So now I will tell you the unique features in these general characters. The most important unique feature is most of them are endoparasite. This is the unique feature. And these are first bilaterally symmetrical triploblastic acylomate animals. Okay, this is second point. And the body is dorso-ventrally flattened, hence they are called flatworms. Platyhelminthes are commonly called flatworms. And these are the only animals having organ level of organization. Okay, then the another important character is most of them are colorless and some are colorful. Then second, the next point is cephalization. It is a very important unique feature of Platyhelminthes. So the head formation is seen. It means, you know, that head means the anterior part of the body is called head, and more particularly it is called scolex, SCOLEX. And organs of adhesion are present in the endoparasite like hooks and suckers. Exoskeleton is totally absent. Digestive, respiratory, excretory systems are absent. You can remember. Flame cells or protonephridia are the organs of or cells of excretion and osmoregulation. And nervous system is very primitive type. Sense organs are absent in endoparasites and present in turbularians. And most of them are hermaphrodite. And reproductive system is highly complex. And life cycle is very complicated and regeneration is seen in planaria. So these are the very unique point, or you can say the distinctive features of Platyhelminthes. I hope you understood all these general characters. If you understood all the characters, like the video, subscribe the channel, click on the bell icon.